Всем ассаламу алейкум, друзья! Добро пожаловать на мой подкаст. Сегодня у меня в гостях очень крутой человек, доктор Карим Чамари. Мы сегодня поговорим о нагрузках и питании во время Рамадана. И не только. Добро пожаловать. Я очень рад вас видеть сегодня.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, dear Sean.
Как вам форум и прогулялись ли вы уже по этому замечательному городу? Смогли ли осмотреть его?
So first of all, I was very happy to come to Russia for the first time. This was a big country missing in my different flights and trips. Being in Kazani is an honor for me. Kazani is very known for sport, capital of sport if you want. And KAZANFORUM was an opportunity for me to meet scientists like Dr. Mikhail. I missed Dr. Talibov, who could not be here. So this is a way to meet in person people of which you read scientific articles. So I would like to thank the Tatarstan government for having invited me with the Rubin Kazan club. Rubin Kazan is a big club in football who follows football and UEFA Champions League knows Rubin Kazan. So it's a big pleasure for me to be here. And now that I have the opportunity to friendly speak about the topic of Ramadan, sport, exercise, eventually health, injuries, I will do it with pleasure with you, Sean. Thank you.
Я бы тоже хотел бы выразить благодарность клубу «Рубин». Это возможность сегодня записать подкаст. Инициатива исходит от них. И это очень круто. И я очень рад знакомству с вами. Какие-нибудь рекомендации для людей, которые занимаются спортом на любительском уровне? Как планировать питание и тренировки во время Рамазана?
Very interesting. In Ramadan fasting, there's the word fasting. The word fasting is very powerful because already out of religion, fasting is very good for health. There are many models of intermittent fasting, like 16 hours, 8 hours. So you would be fasting for 16 hours and eating for 8 hours. This is what I'm doing for years now. But adding to this, the spirituality of Ramadan is something more complex and more powerful also. So for the people who are not professional athletes, I would really recommend to them to do, if possible, 1 to 2 sessions of exercise in a week in a fasted state. For example, you have a dinner at night, not too late, 7, 8 at night, and the day after, when you wake up, you don't take breakfast, and you go for exercising. Because when you exercise in these fasting conditions, we will not go into too much details, but there are physiological effects that are good for the body health and the mental health. So fasting is good for health in general, but exercise as fasting is really powerful, okay? Now, when it's wet fasting, like the intermittent fasting out of religion, you can drink water, but only water because you need not to consume energy to keep in this fasting state. If you want to drink coffee or tea without sugar, zero calories. So now we are not speaking about Ramadan fasting, we are speaking about intermittent fasting or restricted time eating, RTE. You can find it intermittent fasting, you can find it RTE, restricted timing eating. This is good for health. There is more and more research showing the positive effects of practicing this. Plus, it will help you eventually not gaining weight or losing weight. And if you want to do some philosophy, you will eat less resources. So you will contribute to saving the planet, eating less, leaving more food for the other people who need it. This is something else. This is out of the physiology. This is a more spiritual or philosophical.
Исходя из этого, следующий вопрос. Как пост влияет на восстановление и выносливость? Я до этого вопрос задавал на моем примере. Я какое-то время назад, лет 15-20 назад, занимался на профессиональном уровне спортом. И во время поста я тренировался 2 раза в день, утром и вечером. Сейчас, 3 года назад, я пробежал 42 километра без подготовки. Больше 3 километров я не пробегал И влияет ли это вообще на выносливость? Заложив тогда на тренировках, получить сейчас до сих пор, получать такой фидбэк?
I'm not aware about any studies about the long-term effect of Ramadan, but there are more studies on short-term effect. It depends on the effort you do. If you do short effort, like sprinting or repeated sprinting, this is different than running for long distance run. So you ask about the calories and the nutrition. Of course, during Ramadan, you can eat only from iftar, sunset, to the day after at dawn, not sunrise, because sunrise happens after dawn. It's still dark when you have to stop eating. Now, all this depends also on the context. Where do you live and when do you live? Because if you take, for example, let's say the northern hemisphere of the globe, let's not speak about Australia, etc., because they are in the south, and most Muslims in the world are in the northern hemisphere. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's take the example of the northern hemisphere. Mm-hmm. In the northern hemisphere, if you live next to the equator, like we have Indonesia, Malaysia, not far from the equator, the difference of length of day between seasons is not much. The problem is that the more you are far from the equator, more the distance, the length of the daylight is very long during the summer, very short during the winter. Mm-hmm. So when I take here Kazan, Moscow, Denmark, at the same latitude, this latitude is easy during the winter and difficult during the summer. Mm-hmm. As you know, Ramadan is turning around a cycle of 33 years. Mm-hmm. So this year, as far as I remember, Ramadan starts on the 1st of March. Yeah. So next time, Ramadan will come back starting early March, will be in 33 years from now. Mm. Okay. So depending on the cycle where you are, you will be fasting short or long. And depending on the effort you do, short or long effort, this is completely different. So people say, the Ramadan, one Ramadan. There's no one Ramadan. There are many Ramadans. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are the rules. You have to not eat, not drink from dawn to sunset. But depending on you, Sean, this year, in 2025, you, Sean, had a different Ramadan than me because you were in Kazan and I was in Doha. And you, Sean, are a long distance runner. I'm a football player or I'm a weightlifter. So this is completely different. Mm. So depending on your specialty, depending on the length, you will eat more carbohydrate if you do long distance run, or you will eat more proteins if you do more muscle strengthening, knowing that even long distance runners, if they don't consume enough proteins, they will be at risk of losing muscle mass. So Ramadan, if you don't take the right nutrition, you are at risk of losing some muscle mass, especially if you do muscle training. I will not tell you eat meat, eat poultry, or eat fish. I will leave your personal nutritionist guide you. But my advice would be to try to eat more plant proteins than animal proteins. Because, let me say it this way, my opinion, and it's only me speaking here, is that there are two things that are evolving extremely rapidly now. It's technology, AI, IT, all these chatbots coming, and people are on their phones, and who have the quickest phone, who has the more powerful computer, and AI behind it. We are focused on technology. There's another revolution running now, which is nutrition. Nutrition is evolving a lot. A few years ago, I was teaching to my students about the proteins and half animal proteins, half plant proteins. And recently, I invite the people who are listening to us now to try to find, there are numerous recent podcasts on nutrition. And it seems that plant-based nutrition is really good for health, and that animal proteins should be looked with certain precautions. I know that the people who are selling animal proteins will not like what I say, but this is science, and this is the recent, very quickly evolving science. I invite you to look after that and to try to instruct yourself on this. Now we have another problem also, is how will you fast if you are in the North Pole? In the North Pole, there are 6 months of night, 6 months of day. How would you do? So for this, there are special rules who tells you that you might, the first, if you are from the origin from Turkey, for example, you are there in North Pole and you will fast according to the time of Istanbul, for example. Okay, so this is an example. Or if you are not from Turkey, you are from the North Pole and you are Muslim, you should perhaps follow the closest Muslim majority country. These are rules that people say. I'm not specialist in religion, but or there is another option, not fasting, because you cannot fast. It's 6 months dark. Now there's a gray zone. The gray zone is the high latitudes, which are not the North Pole. And if you take the north of Russia or the north of Norway, there sometimes you can have a night time of 1 hour and 23 hours of day. How will you do? It's not the same. So there's no one recipe that will work. It depends on the context. The key word that today we discussed at the KAZANFORUM was the context. The context is impacting on the physical performance during Ramadan. The context is also impacting on the injuries you can have.
У меня был по списку один вопрос. Теперь у меня он такой, трансформировался. Важность интенсивности или нагрузки, времени тренировок. Второй дополняющий вопрос. Насколько важно, сейчас же очень модно, нужно кушать больше белка, там, на ночь белка ешь, там, худеешь, там, важно животный белок. Кто-то вообще вегетарианец, он придерживается только зелени. Насколько это важно придерживаться чего-то одного? Или, не знаю, есть какой-то микс? Или для каждого человека, как он сказал, свой подход?
The problem is that in science in general, and more precisely if you want, in some fields, like Ramadan, there are more questions than answers. I will not tell you we only have 5% of the answers and 95% of the unknown, but it's pretty much this. I'm not aware of any scientific study comparing vegetarians to omnivores. The problem with the vegetarians is that they take their proteins from plants, and doing this needs good knowledge. You cannot become vegetarians and say, okay, from now on I eat only salads. You need amino acids, and some of them are rare, so you need to be an expert in nutrition if you want to be vegetarian. Let alone during Ramadan, when for a long period of the day you will not eat. Okay? So whatever you are, omnivore or vegetarian, you have to optimize your nutrition during the nighttime. Optimizing your nutrition during the nighttime needs knowledge of how to consume the necessary nutrients. If because you are hungry, you will eat a lot of pasta, so you will load in carbohydrate, but after you will be full, you cannot eat all the salads, all the nuts, all the fruits that are needed to bring vitamins, minerals, and all the rest. So, and this is not easy for layperson, everyone, to resist to the hunger and say, now it's time for iftar. I've been fasting for long. I exercised. What I feel as a layperson is I'm hungry. Mm-hmm. But what does the hunger mean? The hunger means the body says to the person, I need nutrients. And usually laypersons, when they are hungry, they just fill the stomach. Mm. You fill your stomach with pasta or rice, and you are no more hungry. But it's a big threat. It's a problem because you are extinguishing the hunger, so you're no more hungry, and you are doing, let me see it friendly, a crime towards your body, because your body needs minerals, oligo elements, etc., that are there, in salads, in soups, in fruits, in vegetables, in some fish. So when you eat at iftar and after during the night hours, you have to answer to the needs of your body in nutrition, not in extinguishing the hunger. Extinguishing the hunger is easy. You eat 2 kilos of rice, if you can, finished. So this is a crime towards your body. And then mid Ramadan, towards the end of Ramadan, you feel tired, you have no energy. Of course, you are you are lacking so many nutrients, So it's also an art or a science to know how to manage fasting. So it needs more efforts to take the right nutrition at iftar, during the nighttime, and at suhoor. And suhoor should be taken just before dawn. Because if you are working the day after and you say, okay, I'm going to eat at 11 p.m., midnight, eat and go next sunset, next iftar, this will be, let's say, 19 hours, 20 hours. If you do it 1 day, 2 days, okay. But if you do it for 1 month, it's more challenging. So it's normal that you will accumulate fatigue because you are not taking the right nutrition. So it's not easy to answer all these questions, but something sure is that nutrition, hydration, sleep, nutrition, hydration, sleep are pillars of how to manage Ramadan for everyone and Ramadan for athletes. This is very important. Athletes have poorer sleep in quantity, in duration, and in quality. We have done an experiment putting polysomnography electrodes on the forehead of athletes, and we have noticed that during Ramadan there is more light sleep, and towards the end of Ramadan and even 2 weeks after Ramadan, there is less REM sleep and less deep sleep. So this is the architecture, the quality of the sleep is negatively impacted by Ramadan because why? Because Ramadan is also not only fasting during the day, but it's also going to prayer or going to visit family, friends. They are all staying awake and have these social religious activities which are taken on the time of sleep. So we have also shown in athletes that if you want to complement this poor sleep, you should be doing more napping, sleeping during the day if you can, to complement this problem of sleep. So nutrition, sleep, hydration are extremely important during Ramadan, especially in athletes. And let me finish with hydration. Usually, if you are thirsty, you will drink, let's say, 1 liter. I'm thirsty. This is counterproductive. If you want your body to absorb optimal quantities of liquids, you should be drinking around 200 milliliters. So not a big quantity, every half an hour. And spread them through the nighttime. Not all at once. We said, for joking, iftar, 2 kilos of rice, 2 liters of water. I'm full. And this is extremely wrong. And some people do pretty much this.
Красота религии в чем? Она дает нам структуру. Объясню то, о чем вы говорите. Люди, которые начинают активничать ночью и днем, есть сунна пророка Мухаммада, саллаллаху алейхи ва саллям. Если вы читаете намаз, ночной намаз, тахаджуд, таравих, то вы можете поспать днем, это сунна. Полчаса, 15 минут вас перегрузит. Кстати, это следующий вопрос. Насколько дневной сон восстанавливает?
Some people are really committed with the tarawih prayers. This has an effect on sleep because when you are at the mosque praying, you are not sleeping. So you need to catch up the sleep somewhere. If you are lucky to be able to do naps, it's perfect. This is easy when you live in a Muslim majority country or you are in an environment that allow you do some naps. Some people living in Muslim minority countries struggle with this because if you live in France, for example, or Germany, and you are Muslim and you spend a good amount of time at night praying, the day after your employer will not tell you, okay, yesterday you were praying, now you can sleep in the office or go home sleeping. So it's not easy, it depends on the context. But definitely, if you are lacking sleep during the night, which is usually the case in Ramadan, you should find a way to catch up. Because the lack of sleep is extremely dangerous for health. I repeat it. the lack of sleep is extremely dangerous for health. So sometimes you go out for partying or for whatever, and we miss 4 hours of sleep. You say no problem. It's a problem. The lack of sleep is an extreme problem. So you have to complement your sleep, and you have to be aware that the lack of sleep is extremely dangerous, as is the lack of exercise. Some people are just not exercising, just eating, working,
Sleeping.
If I have a message, friendly message to you, Sean, is take care of your sleep, move. If you can fast. Not only Ramadan also, because also the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you were speaking about this before. There's the Sunnah. In the Sunnah, there is also, you should be fasting, for example, 2 times a week, Mondays and Thursdays sometimes. Ramadan is the gold medal religion with respect to fasting. Why? Because if you are a Muslim and if you follow al-fard, it's mandatory to fast during Ramadan. But if you follow the Sunnah, you will be fasting twice a week and the 3 days in the middle of the month. Did you count this? This is 120 days. So this is extremely important. And if you do it, you should do it the right way. Not fasting for only spiritual, because fasting for spiritual reasons and for religion reasons is extremely important. But don't forget your body. And don't forget your body health. Don't forget your mental health. This is friendly advice to people who are watching.
За период вашей практики какие мифы есть о тренировках или питании во время поста? Не обязательно в Рамадан, вообще у спортсменов, мне кажется, это прям очень такой вопрос для профессиональных спортсменов. У меня просто в практике было, что в истории с Криштиану Роналду, если вы слышали, нет, эту историю, когда он пришел к Мбаппе с едой на сухур, чтобы он не пропускал Рамадан во время финала Лиги Чемпионов. Мбаппе, он хотел пропустить, чтобы быть в ресурсе. И какие есть такие мифы? Это как-то влияет или, может быть, по питанию что-то есть такое? Что дополнить?
In 2016, we have published a scientific study about the beliefs and attitudes of 54 professional football players from Muslim countries who were about to participate to the Olympic Games of London 2012. The main message was that they had a negative attitudes and negative beliefs. Wrong negative beliefs and negative attitudes. Ramadan is making me weak. Ramadan is reducing my stamina, reducing my physical performance, and so on, and so on, and so on. I prepared one slide and presented this to the KAZANFORUM today. If you are a professional football player and you think that Ramadan is negative, how will you go on the field with the right mindset and fight? If you are a coach around an athlete and you yourself believe that Ramadan is negative, how will you encourage? How will you psych up? How will you be positive with your athlete if you believe that the Ramadan is negative? So first thing is you should instruct yourself. Ramadan has some negative effects on some athletes for some efforts. But many studies have shown no negative effect. So first of all, you have to correct yourself as athlete and as supporting staff, technical staff, medical staff. And this comes now to the mentality and the psychology of the athlete. Athletes who are just fasting for fasting are not so strong and are not as strong as athletes who fast with a stronger spirituality and seeing Ramadan not only as food and fluids, but see Ramadan as fasting and Taraweeh, connection to God, the goodness, all these things. So we have an article that will be published in June or July 2025, inshallah, in a few months. And we clearly show through a qualitative study, scientific study, that there is a real difference with respect to the relationship athlete-effort. So if you want to do an effort, an optimal effort, you need to have preferably you need to be an athlete with the whole package of Ramadan, not only the fasting, not only food and, food and fruit. So if I had to retain one big misconception is that in the mind of many people, not only in Muslim minority countries, or in Christians or Jews or other religions that don't know nothing. There are people who don't know what's Ramadan. There are people, and there are coaches who coach teams where you have 1, 2, or 3 players. They don't know that Ramadan is moving around the year. They don't know Ramadan is from dawn to sun. They don't know anything. And they say, and we see this in the media, you should not fast. Fasting is bad. But you, coach, you don't know nothing about Ramadan. You don't know what's Ramadan. You don't know what does the science say about Ramadan. One of my passion is to do science around sports science, sports medicine. For years I've been doing this. And also helping young researchers to do research. I've had the chance to co-author, to be part of more than 54 so far, papers on Ramadan exercise. And I can tell you that what we show does not match the general idea that Ramadan is negative. There are some cases where Ramadan has a negative effect. For example, the repeated sprint ability, the ability to do sprints, very intense sprints with very short recovery. The placebo effect. The placebo effect is that, Sean, you come, you say, doctor, I have a headache. So the doctor gives you 1 pill, there's nothing, and tells you, take this medicine, you will feel better. You take the medicine, after 20 minutes, you come to the doctor, you say, your medicine is really working well. But it was not a medicine, it was a placebo. The placebo effect is when you think the process, there is a positive effect. The opposite of placebo effect is the nocebo effect. Nocebo effect, when you think it's negative, then you feel negative. If you think that Ramadan is bad for your physical performance, so you have a nocebo effect. And then you will yourself lower your engagement in exercise because you think it's negative. And this happened in one of the scientific publications by Aziz and colleagues. So this is a joint team from Singapore and Malaysia. So they published a very nice paper showing that the football players were starting the match in Ramadan, at a very low level because they were thinking that Ramadan was negative. But after the 15 first minutes of the match, but after the rest of the first half, they were like pre-Ramadan. And then after came the fatigue during the second half. So the nocebo effect is linked to the psychology. If you don't prepare for Ramadan, you have less. Tell me, Sean, people who go for competition at altitude. So people living at the sea level, they know they will have a competition in Kenya, 2,000 meter altitude. I'm not speaking about La Paz at 3,000 plus in Bolivia. What they do, athletes, they go and they train in altitude to get accustomed to that, adapted. They adapted hemoglobin, etc. And then they go for the competition. So why would you, as technical staff or as elite athletes, why would you prepare for altitude and you are Muslim and you don't prepare for Ramadan?
Аманат, который вам дал Аллах, на первом месте. Второе, сунна пророка Мухаммада, саллаллаху алейхи вассалям, работает. Позитивный настрой 50% к выздоровлению. Так что, как минимум, инсайт есть. У меня такой вопрос. К глютену, к вот этому всему. Это на самом деле рабочий момент или это просто сейчас форсится просто в социальных сетях? То, что мы же как-то ели этот хлеб, ели, и никто не умер, а сейчас он глютеновый, безглютеновый. Это чисто личный мой вопрос. Меня это прям тревожит. Я просто очень сильно люблю хлеб.
Now science, at least in medicine, is going towards precision medicine. Precision medicine is giving you a treatment that will not work with me. And my treatment will not work with you. So I'm not an expert in nutrition. Gluten is certainly bad for some and not harmful for others. This is rapidly evolving recently. The problem is that, as you said, is it marketing? Is there something which is not marketing? This is my problem. So everything, marketing tries to optimize their gains. So they'll try through communication and marketing to sell you whatever they want you to buy. And I myself, I'm certainly one of the victims of the marketing, taking things that I don't need and avoiding things that I would need. So I have absolutely no strict, clear answer to this. Nutrition is like medicine. It's individualizable. You have to individualize. The people who have really problem with gluten, they will have their symptoms. They will see their doctors. But many will not have. If they want to spend money buying gluten-free food, is their problem. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Myself, I have a chronic condition. I know that I should not eat gluten, but as I'm mainly plant-based choices, my choices are first soup, salad, fruits, nuts. Sometimes if my wife prepares a nice pasta, I will eat it, but it's rare, you know. Bread, almost never. And if I eat bread, it's black, the blackest possible bread. So it's true that white flour bread, I avoid. Mm-hmm. Gluten or not gluten, I avoid, because this is certainly not the best for health.
Еще один вопрос. Как вы относитесь к БАДам дополнительным? Объясню. Сейчас я сам пью напиток, он как БАД идет, дополнение, как бы очищение ЖКТ. И я сейчас на самом деле на неделю пью, лучше себя чувствую. Это может быть и плацебо, но прямо работает. Как относитесь к БАДам, в общем, вопрос? К дополнительным.
You need good nutrition, and good nutrition is not easy. All the nuts, all the fruits, all the vegetables. If you're interested, look at specialized podcasts. They tell you have to eat 30 plants a week. But if I take tomato, potato, banana, orange, and whatever, if I take these same every day, at the end of the week I will have only 5. This is too poor. You need to have 30 a week. And I'm doing more than 30. I'm eating much more than 30 plants a week. And it's good for the microbiome. If you eat the right nutrition, which is not easy, you don't need any supplements.
Круто. Ну, блин, в этом же и сложность. Вот 30 этих разновидностей кушать. Я не то чтобы их употреблять, я не знаю столько вариаций. Я вообще как придерживаюсь, мое мнение. Сам по себе я минималист, как в одежде, вообще в жизни. И придерживаюсь питания то же самое. У меня минимум того, что я употребляю. И я мыслю как ты, то, что ты потребляешь. Но, послушав вас, придется что-то менять в своей жизни.